Good day to you. In my previous video I talked about why I am qualified to say that the Biden administration's foreign policy is an unmitigated disaster. I only covered the first three countries, China, Russia, and India. I stated that I had worked in 3 foreign nations and live in another, Ukraine, and had visited several Eastern European nations as a tourist including Russia and Poland. I did not mention that I visited Mexico as a tourist many times when I lived in Texas and that I also spent a week in British Virgin Islands. In all these cases, my experience is not the typical tourist experience. Even in Tortola, I rented a house and a car. None of my foreign or domestic vacations were of the cruise ship or resort types of vacations. So, my experience is far beyond the foreign experience of a typical congressman or even a CIA analyst who only talks the talk but has never walked the walk. My experience is not making speeches to idiots or sitting behind a desk playing with people's lives. Even my choice of professions is appropriate. Emotions, whining or crying or anger don't work when you are writing code. Spin does not work. And whether you have a PhD or an associate degree does not matter very much. So let's discuss the top 2 first, Russia and then China. The very first thing that Biden did after his inauguration regarding Russia was to call Putin a murderer. I am not going to discuss what happened in Britain to Russians who were spies before they escaped to Britain. I am going to remind Biden about his part in shooting an unarmed woman in the neck at point-blank range. All she did was walk through an open door and calmly talk to a policeman. Another police officer who is built like an NFL lineman shot and killed her from 5 feet away, and the video proved it. But that cop is a hero to Biden. Nor am I going to discuss in detail the 13 U.S. Marines that Biden set up to be killed in Afghanistan. I say that the murderer was Biden. I say that all Biden needed to do to prevent the Ukraine war was to accept that Crimea is, and has been legitimately part of Russia for 400 years. I say that the citizens of Donetsk have the right to live in the country where they were born in spite of being ethnic Russian. With acceptance of these realities, the war between Russia and Ukraine would never have happened. But Biden wanted war instead, and so 100,000 Ukrainians are already dead. Yes, Biden betrayed Ukraine and murdered 100,000 Ukrainians. Why did he do it? The election in the USA in November, that is why Biden did it. 100,000 human lives and the destruction of Ukraine simply do not matter to the Biden administration and those that will vote for it again. And now we are in full military war with a nation, Russia, that has a better military and more nukes than we do. If this is not a total foreign policy mistake, what is? Spin it all you want, but this is reality. Believe what you want to believe, but this is reality. If the war is not bad enough, the Biden administration had to add sanctions. Take a look at the chart. This is what the sanctions did to the price of natural gas in Europe. Sanctions have hurt Europe badly. The price of electricity in Britain has already gone up by 50%. It will go up another 80% before the end of the year. Germany's industrial base is decimated, and Germany will see unemployment at more than 25% by spring. No way Germany or France or Italy can compete with China or India when their energy prices are 50% more. The governments of Italy and Britain have already fallen. The only thing that is going to save the leaders of Europe are machine guns used on citizens for protesting. There are only a few nations in Europe that will not freeze this winter. Spain because it gets its energy from Africa. Hungary and Serbia because they are on good terms with Russia. Maybe also Bulgaria because the people of Bulgaria might revolt and Russia might protect them. America will be fine, of course. Another nail in the coffin of the middle class, but hey, cowardice in accepting Biden will cost the middle class dearly. So with regard to relations with Russia, we have limited war with a nuclear power. We have Ukraine shrinking every day, both in land and men. We have recession in all of Europe and depression in Ukraine. But all this is peanuts compared to the political fallout. By sanctioning Russia and giving weapons to Ukraine, the Biden administration drove Russia out of Europe and into Asia. Specifically, Russia and China are now unofficial allies. They don't have a formal mutual defense treaty, but they have something better. Mutual trust. A shared enemy. And a natural synergy. Everything that Russia cannot make for itself, China sells to them, And Russia is now earning more from its natural gas and oil than it earned before the war. Putin's popularity in the polls went from about 60% before the war to about 90% now. Yes, 90%. Prior to the war, America and Germany were admired. Now there is nothing but contempt. Prior to the war, Russia was being bled by the rich, leaving Russia and going to Europe or New York. Now the rich are desperately trying to get their money back into Russia. And now the population of Russia has gone up by 5 million people, who formerly were Ukrainian citizens. It is worth pointing out that when Russia first invaded, there was a United Nations vote. 140 nations voted to condemn Russia. This month Ukraine submitted another resolution condemning Russia. Only 58 nations voted for it. One final point regarding Russia, Europe, and Ukraine. Winter is coming. The only people that will be warm and well-fed in December are those that are in Russia. This is going to do wonders for the popularity of Putin and Russia. I meant to talk about China and India too. But this video is already long enough. There are many people posting on YouTube with chatter lasting an hour or more. Sorry, I don't like this. I will keep mine under 10 minutes. So, expect another video about China in a day or 3. Now, please like this video and subscribe to me if you have not already. And tell your friends.